What's up, guys? Welcome to the first ever episode of 3 and Out with your hosts, Manny and Pete. I'm Pete.
And I'm Manny.
And today we will be covering all things sports, from the MLB offseason to the NFL divisional round. To kick off this first episode, we're going to recap what we saw Monday night when the Clemson Tigers got loose and mauled the Alabama Crimson Tide.
Well, it was kind of a laugher. Final score was 44-16 in favor of Clemson. Trevor Lawrence was dominant. Clemson was just dominant in general.
Trevor Lawrence was absolutely crazy. True freshman, throws for 347 yards, 3 passing touchdowns, and that's all without their number one receiver, Hunter Renfrow.
Yeah, he really didn't do anything.
He had a very quiet game. 2 receptions, 10 yards, the longest going for 5. Very, very quiet game. How does that make you feel about the true freshman?
Yeah,
is he the real deal?
He's good. He's good. This is a future first-round pick. This is a future Hall of Famer, Pro Bowler. He's really good.
A Hall of Famer.
Like the type of hype that we saw with it when Andrew Luck came out. I feel like we'll be hearing that even more here. You got to remember, he's only like 19 maybe.
We got a Luck-esque
He's
true
a freshman. He's a freshman. He came in, won the job, made a senior transfer, and he won the national. He hasn't lost a game.
This is true.
It's absolutely impressive and incredible to see.
It was an amazing 15-0 run for the Clemson Tigers. Now, how did you feel about Travis Etienne and his 3 TD night? What did you get from him watching that game?
You know, it felt like the beginning of the game, he kind of had a Melvin Gordon-esque game. Like, if you remember Melvin Gordon when he was a rookie with the Chargers, the yards per carry was kind of low, but he was racking up the TDs, and that felt like, honestly, it's probably still Melvin Gordon now.
But that's still Melvin Gordon now.
That's really what it was for Etienne. Early on, he busted out a big run late when the game was already in the bag for Clemson.
Gotta love garbage time.
But generally, he was really just cranking out those short yards and not really breaking big ones till the end. And I know who do you think were some other standouts from the game for you?
Well, definitely you got to look at Justin Ross, guys. Now, Justin Ross on
also
the Clemson, also a freshman, 6 catches for 153 yards and a touchdown. I mean, it gets hard to top that. That is a beautiful performance. And then, we're talking all about Clemson here. I don't want to just overlook the Crimson Tide. They did have one real standout player, in my opinion, wide receiver, Jeudy.
Jerry Jeudy, yeah.
Jerry Jeudy, over 100 yards. He put up a TD. He had a beautiful game, and he looked solid throughout the whole game.
Yeah, as another future first-round pick, it's going to be him and Clemson's T. Higgins are going to be the top 2 receivers in the 2020
T. Higgins had another good game.
Yeah,
T. Higgins was good, too.
Yards?
I believe 81 yards and a TD.
Yeah.
I believe 81 yards and a TD for Higgins. And the Clemson defense, though, they really stopped it.
That was absolutely incredible.
Out.
You start the game with a pick 6, and they never looked back after that.
It's the best feeling is starting the game with a pick 6.
Yeah, I mean, A.J. Terrell, I believe, was the guy who ran it back for Clemson.
Correct, yes, sir.
I mean, but it's a rough start for Tua. You kind of, in a way, you feel bad for him, but not so much just because he kind of did win the national championship last year and came off the bench in that game. You
feel bad for the guy, but you know what? Tua did a very, very good job coming back from it. He threw that first pick 6. On the next possession, he took the ball and scored a touchdown.
Yeah.
He marched right down the field. So
yeah, it wasn't a repeat of last year. He
was not.
Should be happy he did not get pulled in favor of Jalen Hurts.
Should be. He should definitely be happy there. But overall, it just looked like a very Clemson-heavy game.
Dominant.
It looked like Clemson was absolutely dominating everything.
Oh, yeah. From start to finish.
And
it was all Tigers, except for a brief moment in time where Alabama was up by 2 points.
The Crimson Tide just didn't show up. The Crimson Tide didn't show up. The Tigers got loose at the zoo. It was a crazy game.
No, it's still quite insane, though, because Clemson last year had a ton of guys that could have declared early and been first-round picks, like Dexter Lawrence, and Cleveland Farrell, for example, on that D-line. They all decided to come back for one more ride and paid off for them.
Now, it's interesting that you bring that up. Dexter Lawrence wasn't playing in this one.
No, he was not.
That Clemson defense could have been even scarier if Dexter Lawrence was healthy.
Yeah, maybe wouldn't allow 16 points.
might have not. I mean,
shutout.
Could have been the shutout. It could have been that huge shutout, starting with a pick 6, and then Dexter Lawrence is just like, nah, we're going to keep it going. I'm going to sack you 4 or 5 times.
Yep.
Could have been a difference maker.
Now, speaking of, since we're still in the national championship, we'll go to the other side real quick with Alabama. Jalen Hurts has officially listed his name in the transfer portal.
That's right.
He will more than likely be leaving Alabama. There are lots of different destinations for him. A popular one is to Maryland, actually, where his former offensive coordinator, Mike Locksley, has been hired as the head coach.
That's definitely interesting. That'll make Maryland a much bigger competitor next year.
That would be big move for them. Big name, way to get yourself in the news.
Big move.
But like we've seen this, we've been seeing it with a couple different other quarterbacks transferring as well. Like you have Justin Fields leaving Georgia to go to Ohio State.
Going to the Ohio State.
The Ohio State. I'm sorry, Ohio State sucks. But and in response to that, Tate Martell, who was the backup for Dwayne Haskins this year at the Ohio State University.
There we go.
He put his name in the transfer portal today as well. So he's more than likely is on his way out unless he somehow beats out Justin Fields. I mean, you got all these guys moving, and there's only one quarterback plays at a time, so it makes sense for these guys to go. But how do you kind of feel about like the transferring and all that? Is there anything that worries you with seeing this many guys going?
No, nothing really worries me seeing this many guys transferring. I definitely think it's like you said. At any given time, you can only have one quarterback on the field. You can't have two quarterbacks. You can have two receivers. You can have two running backs. You can do whatever you want with them. You can only have one guy receiving the snap and throwing that football. And you know what? These college players, they have to go to a team where they will be able to be that number one, where they will be able to get onto the field and where they will be able to shine.
Yeah,
they need to show their skills.
Yeah, can't get to the next level if you don't play.
You want to get to the next level, you got to play. You got to play good, and you got to play where you know you're going to be the number one. You know you're going to be the guy, and you know you're going to be with a team that you can trust to get you to that next level. So I am not worried at all about any of these transfers. I think that these players are doing what is right for them and what is best for their personal careers.
Oh yeah, no, I agree with you there. I mean, you do kind of have to look out for number one first off. I mean, you're the only one pushing for your goals. Like you have your team goals, but every player does have their individual goals, winning championships, putting up good numbers, and most importantly, getting to the next level, getting to the NFL.
No, most definitely. So the NFL is more of a team sport.
Yes.
People aren't going to be demanding trades, doing all this, doing all that. The NFL is a team sport. I actually view college football as an individual sport.
Really?
College football, you have a team around you, but it's an individual sport because at the end of the day, the person next to you, the person that you're throwing to, yeah, he's your support. Yeah, he's there. But he's also, he's going up against you.
Yeah.
He's going to hurt your draft stock.
Yeah.
It is a team sport, but it is also an individual sport. It's very, very weird. It's hard to describe. This is going to be a really weird reference for most of you guys, but college football kind of reminds me of Olympic gymnastics. Hear me out. No, hear me out. Now, Olympic gymnastics is a team sport. The USA medals because USA is number one. And they get the gold. But on top of that,
the Chinese win their fair share.
USA. No. So, the teams win the Olympics, right?
Yeah.
But when you're looking at the cereal boxes, you see the individual athletes, who medaled.
Yeah.
When you're looking at the success, you see the individual that medaled. So to me, college football is kind of like that. It is a team sport. You do want your team to win. You love and respect your team, and you want championships. You're a competitor at no matter what level, you are a competitor. And you want to win. You play to win. But at college, you have to showcase your skills more so than showcase a win.
Yeah.
Because that's what's going to take you to that next level. That's what's going to make you make it.
So I guess the way you could also look at it is it's a bunch of players playing in their contract year in the NFL because or even other sports.
That's a good way of putting it.
You see other guys step up their game in their contract year when they know they're hitting free agency to increase their value.
More people will definitely relate to the contract year reference
gymnastics
than the Olympic gymnastic reference, but you know what? The message gets a point. So to all our females out there, this is it.
Males do gymnastics too.
That was the joke of the day. Males do gymnastics. Got him.
Yeah. It used to be. It's a little bit bigger for, the Gabby Douglases and all of them of the world. Now the females, it's kind of their sport. Nobody cares about the men anymore.
It's just like men's volleyball. Nobody cares. We only care about the females.
Actually, you talk about that. Occasionally when it pops up on TV, I'm just scrolling through the TV and there's absolutely nothing else on. I'm on ESPN 9. And I may watch some volleyball. but generally I won't touch it. I'll just keep that to myself next time.
All right, well, moving right along because I don't think anything is going to top ESPN 9. MLB offseason. How are you feeling about this so far, my man? It is going absolutely crazy. So many things have already happened. This is our first episode, so I'm going to just kind of get this out in the open. I am a diehard New York Mets fan. You will hear me ranting and raving a lot about the New York Mets and what they do and how they win. And if you don't like that, oh well, it's happening. But I mean, honestly, it's relevant. It's relevant right now because the Mets have had a huge offseason, and they're still making splashes.
Yeah.
They started off, they got Cano, they got Diaz. They got rid of Jay Bruce, which in my opinion was the right move because that guy was just an overpaid bum. And then now, just as recently as 2 days ago, they make 3 trades. And they go out there and they get themselves a good infielder, J.D. Davis. And more than that, they get a good star center fielder in Keon Broxton. Maybe not a star, but he's a very good player, great defense, and he's exactly what the Mets needed. I'm thinking the Mets are having, I think so far, out of every team, the Mets have had the best offseason.
You really think so?
Machado's still on the board. Bryce Harper's still on the board. Craig Kimbrell's still on the board. A lot of these free agents haven't signed yet. Not too many big blockbuster trades have been made. I don't think anybody's having a better offseason than the New York Mets right now.
Yeah, so far, I guess I'll give it to you. We'll see where those 2 big names that you brought up, Machado and Harper, end up going.
You got to see where the big names go. I mean, the big names are obviously going to determine who has the best offseason. If any one team could land both of those 2, like Philly is trying to do, they would automatically win. They would have the best offseason. But so far, I think it is. I don't think that my bias is getting in the way. I think that the New York Mets have had the best offseason thus far.
Now, speaking of Harper and Machado, where do you see them going?
Well, there have been a lot of talks recently. Bryce Harper is, he's a huge name. He's always out there. Everybody's always talking about him. Now, originally, they were talking about Bryce Harper going to Philly. They were talking about Bryce Harper possibly going to the Dodgers. And, speaking on that, the Dodgers did make a big trade to get rid of Matt Kemp and Yasiel Puig earlier in the offseason. So if they don't get an outfielder at this point, I don't know what their plan is going to be. They just moved their outfielders. I think they were kind of banking on Harper.
Yeah.
And I don't think Harper's going to L.A. I mean, as much as a surfer boy as he is, I don't think he's going out west. We've had a lot of talks. The White Sox have talked to him. Yep. The Nationals recently have came back. I mean, they offered him a deal, that he originally was just like, nah, I'm not going to take that. And recently he's been pursued again by the Nationals, and right now they seem to be the favorite to land him, although my prediction is going to be putting Bryce Harper in Philly this year, and he is going to land on the Philadelphia Phillies. That's where I have Bryce Harper going. What about you, sir? What do you think of the Bryce Harper situation?
If you had asked me this a week ago, I would say there's absolutely no way that he's returning to the Nationals. But I kind of got to go with the favorites. He's been there. That's his city where his career started. It's where he really became known, and they're also willing to pay him the money. Like what he wants right now, what I've read that he wants is that he wants to have the biggest deal in MLB history, whether that's most total money or average amount made per year. We're not sure. He just wants to have that record. And if Washington's willing to give it to him, why not stay home?
I mean, it makes sense. Why not stay home? Now, speaking of the Nationals and staying home, they just made a splash earlier today. They inked the second baseman Brian Dozier. How do you feel about that? They're replacing Daniel Murphy, who is now playing with the Colorado Rockies. They replaced him with infielder Brian Dozier. He's a pretty good bat. What do you think about that? What's your take on that?
No, I think it's a good move for them. You help out the lineup. I guess you kind of worried about the money piece there, whether that does affect how much you're going to be able to give Harper. I feel like it won't. I think they want him. Harper's the type of guy that you go after, regardless of who else is on your team. But you definitely help the team in case you don't get him anyway.
I agree. I think it was a big move. I think that it is definitely going to be a downgrade. I don't think Brian Dozier is going to replace Daniel Murphy. I think that Daniel Murphy's production is a little bit too high. There's a name that I'm kind of surprised the Nationals didn't go after. DJ LeMahieu, the second baseman from the Colorado Rockies. He is, in fact, a free agent, and he's always put up some good numbers. I am kind of surprised that we didn't see the Nationals targeting him. Now, some other big names that we got here still left on the block. I mean, we still have Manny Machado. The rumors of him are always going to be swirling around. Guys, other than Manny Machado that's still on the block, we've got Dallas Keuchel has not signed yet, leaving him as the best starting pitcher on the board. Where do you think he goes?
Now, I see Keuchel most likely going to Cincinnati. It looks like reports are coming out that they are heavily pursuing him. They want him badly.
Cincinnati,
yeah.
Okay. Interesting choice. The Reds have done some interesting moves this offseason, and they are looking like they might want to try to start competing. I don't know, though. I don't think if they get Keuchel, it's not going to be to start competing. It's going to be to have a veteran pitcher there, somebody who's won Cy Young, somebody who knows what they're doing, and somebody who can kind of coach their younger guys. I don't think he's going to the Reds, though. I think Dallas Keuchel joins Bryce Harper in Philly.
Really? You think Philly's spending that much money this year?
I mean, early in the offseason, before it ever started, Philly general manager came out and said, yeah, guys, we know you're good fans. We know you've been loyal. We know that we've been putting out losing clubs. This year, we are going to spend a stupid amount of money, and I quote, a stupid amount of money. So what is Philly going to be doing with all this stupid money? So far, they haven't inked anybody.
Superstars.
I mean, they got Andrew McCutchen. He was cheap. They traded for Gene Segura. So they're making moves, but they're not spending the stupid money that they have. And I think that they still need a strong starting pitcher. Dallas Keuchel is the best pitcher left on the market. I am saying Dallas Keuchel to Philly with their stupid amount of money.
I can definitely see that happening. Now, we did mention the other major free agent here, Manny Machado. Where do you think he's going?
So Manny Machado has been rumored to go all over the place. Manny Machado, he's been linked to, it's basically down to 3 teams for Manny Machado. It's basically come down to the Chicago White Sox, the Philadelphia Phillies, and the New York Yankees. Now, as recently as yesterday, I have seen a lot of speculation and a lot of news that the Yankees are actually out of the Machado run. I've seen that they don't want to give him the amount of years that he wants, and you know what? He's just got other options now. With Philly, he's close to home. With Chicago, he's got his brother-in-law and childhood best friend that is, on the team. So, it makes sense. They don't want to give him the time. Chicago and Philly will both give him the time. Everybody's going to give him the money. Everybody's got the money to give him, and everybody's willing to give it to him. So the Yankees won't give him the time, even though at one point, had you asked me this a week ago, I would say the Yankees are probably the favorite to land him.
Yeah, that's where
he wants to go. He wants to go there, but, that's what happens. If they're not going to offer him the time that he wants, the time that he needs, the years, then he's going to go play elsewhere. And, this is one where I don't have the Phillies using their stupid amount of money. I am saying Manny Machado will be in the South Side this upcoming season, Chicago White Sox.
See, I actually got to go opposite because I have the Phillies missing out on Bryce Harper, so I think they end up getting Machado. Actually, I think
Philly ends up getting
Machado.
Have
that money to give it to him. I think they're also more likely to give it to him. Now, since we're on those 2 big name free agents, Harper and Machado, how do you feel about them being faces of the franchise? Because both of them kind of have a bit of attitude issues. Machado more so. We've seen some dirty play from him.
We have seen some dirty play, especially in Game 4 of the NLCS, where Manny Machado has made very, very questionable at best decisions and plays. Harper does have a bit of an attitude to him, but it's not like a bad attitude. Harper, to me, actually displays that
cockiness.
He could be. Is it cockiness or confidence? Because he is the best.
He can still be cocky.
He can still be cocky at times, But he's second to only Mike Trout.
Yeah.
So you know what? You kind of got to give it to him. You got to let him have it a little bit. I love the extreme hustle that he has. I've never seen him not run out of ball. I've never seen him not hustle. I've seen him get to second base on a walk.
And talk to Manny Machado about hustling.
Manny Machado doesn't hustle. Everybody knows Manny Machado doesn't hustle. He just runs into people. And Manny Machado is an interesting guy. He is very, very talented. He is an extremely talented young man. And I don't think that he's necessarily a dirty player. I think that he's had a few questionable calls. I've made a few questionable plays that were dirty. But I don't think he's a dirty player. I think that it's the pressure that gets to him. He was with Baltimore for his entire career, and Baltimore did not have any stars around him. He was Baltimore. Then he went to LA, and he had a little bit more around him, but not a super lot. He had Clayton Kershaw. All right, in LA it also doesn't work because they had Yasiel Puig, and Yasiel Puig was in the news every single day because Yasiel Puig is Yasiel Puig. Yes. there's no real way to describe him other than just saying his name.
Yeah. Everybody knows what you're talking about when you talk about Puig.
I think that Manny Machado, though, he is a good player, and you're going to definitely get your value on the field. I think that it would be in his best interest to take less years and go to the Yankees.
Mhm.
Because with the Yankees, he wouldn't have to be the face of that franchise. He wouldn't have to be that whole team.
You're not worried about, all the distractions with being in New York. Like, you're
You do.
in the city. And
you have the
there's
distractions.
a whole lot to do. There's a whole lot to get you off track.
You have New York City, and New York is going to be a crazy place to play, and it's going to be full of distractions. But the team that's going to be surrounding him and the code of the Yankees, that's what's really going to keep him in line, is that Yankee strictness, that Yankee clubhouse, the thing that the Yankees represents. They put out professionals and professionalism, and if they don't get it, they bench or cut you. There is no, hey, you're better than the rest of these guys, so we'll let you get away with it. No, you're either going to play the Yankees way or you're not going to be a Yankee.
Yeah.
And I think that will help him a lot. I think that he needs that guidance to become even better than he already is. He's already a superstar, but I think playing in a Yankee uniform could really take his game to the next level. I think he could be he could be a Hall of Fame caliber player. He's not that he's not already, but it could be a sure thing. Now, going to Chicago, he will have the perks of having a good friend, a good childhood friend, and his brother-in-law. So those would be some people there that can kind of keep him in check a little bit and take a little bit of the pressure off of him just by being there for him personally, not only on the field. And in Philly, he's got his hometown. He's not really his hometown, but he'll be close to his family.
Yeah.
If he goes to Philly. That's where he'd be closest to his family. So he's got more people to keep an eye on him. I think that either way, no matter where Machado lands, if it's one of those three teams, I think we're going to see a better Manny Machado than we did with Baltimore or LA. And I think that he is going to work on his dirty plays and his attitude. I think that we're going to have a better Manny Machado than we've ever seen.
Older, maturing a bit.
Yeah, he is getting. He's 26 now. He's getting a little bit more mature. I think that Manny Machado is poised to have what could very well be the best 3 or 4 years of his career.
Okay.
Outside of Manny Machado and Bryce Harper, those are the big guys. Now, we already talked about Dallas Keuchel. We do have a couple more. So, A.J. Pollock, outfielder. If you don't get Bryce Harper, if you miss out on the Bryce Harper sweepstakes, you still have A.J. Pollock. Now, this is a guy who has played very, very well for Arizona. He was injury prone. He does, he has some issues there, staying healthy. But when he's on the field, he's one of the best athletes in the game. He's great. Always puts up some good numbers. And if you guys miss out on Bryce Harper, or if you just need like a one-year deal kind of guy, because that's the way that the game is played, and with his health risks, I definitely think a one-year deal is on the table. Where do you see A.J. Pollock landing?
I could really see Chicago, the White Sox.
The White Sox.
Because I think they're going to miss some people. And they're going to have to pick somebody up at that point. They're making space. Obviously, they're willing to pay somebody.
Oh, no, most definitely. The Chicago White Sox are coming to play. They are coming to win this year. They want to win. You can tell because they're talking about Machado. They've talked about Harper. They signed Kelvin Herrera the other day.
Yeah.
So they've got themselves a nice reliever. They are here to play, and they are here to win now. So Chicago, I could see it. I could definitely see A.J. Pollock going there. Personally, I think he's going to land on the Braves. Okay. The Braves need a good outfielder. The Braves are big fans of this new fad, the one-year deal. They just gave a one-year deal to Josh Donaldson. They gave a one-year deal to Brian McCann. I think that A.J. Pollock is going to find himself in a Braves uniform this upcoming season on a one-year deal with them. Because looks like they're trying to make a push for it too. The entire NL East, bar the Marlins, is really trying to make a playoff push here. And I'm loving it. It's an exciting race. Also some news, Yasmani Grandal, the best catching free agent available, did just sign earlier today with the Brewers. It is now official.
But he got that one-year deal.
He got that one-year deal. I'm telling you, man, it's a new fad where teams sign players on one-year deals. The players like it because if I have a better year,
you hit free agency.
I can hit free agency again and I can make money, real money. The club likes it because, hey, if he doesn't work out, we were only busted 1 year. We weren't busted on a whole big 10-year, $300 million contract.
I mean, you see it in other sports. There are people willing to take that risk. Like, that's what Des Bryant wanted.
Yes, that's what Des was trying to do, and it didn't work out in Des's favor.
Yeah, what? So Grandel's getting $18 million, a little bit over $18 million.
Yes, on the Brewers, which I thought was interesting. I found that very interesting. I think the Brewers want to continue to compete. I think that they're trying to say, hey, last year wasn't a fluke. We're going to be there again. We are going to own the NL Central. And I don't think that they're going to have a chance at that. You know what? I don't think this was money well spent. I don't think that they should have went out there. I don't think that they should have gotten Yasmani Grandal. If anything, I think that they should have went after a starting pitcher or a relief pitcher. That's what they needed to do. They didn't need to try to shore up that offense. They have a good offense. They have a great defense. But honestly,
Shore up the pitching.
you know what? Yeah, shore up the pitching because pitching can win.
Oh, yeah.
But you know what? They're not going to win the division. I'm sorry. The St. Louis Cardinals got Goldie. And that is that. The St. Louis Cardinals got Goldie earlier this offseason. So they're going to win the division. That's going to be the end of that. And my personal opinion is that 3 teams are going to be coming out of the NL East this year because the NL East is becoming a dogfight. They are spending the money. They are doing what they need to win now.
Yeah.
So I'm thinking 3 teams come from there. But it was an interesting deal. It does show that the Brewers are trying to show their fans, hey, we're going to do what we can to win. We're going to put a competitive team out there. We want to win now.
I
like the mentality.
I saw that he's had some issues catching the ball, per se, which is,
Yeah,
odd considering that he's a catcher.
His defense is a bit shaky.
You think that would kind of be a natural thing to be back there and just catch it?
Grandal's defense is definitely a bit shaky. I don't know. I don't think it was a good move. I think it was a poor move. And let's talk about the last big guy up here. We got one more big name left on the free agent board, and that's relief pitcher Craig Kimbrell. So all the other relievers are gone at this point. We don't have relievers left. There's a couple relievers left. Cody Allen might be the next best reliever than Craig Kimbrell. So what do you think about Craig Kimbrell? Talk to me about that. What's your take on his whole, I want 7 years. If I don't get 7 years, I'm not going to sign. I want to be paid a whole bunch of money. If you're a club, are you paying him?
It really depends on my needs, or really how close I am. I feel like I am. It's the contract length that kind of worries me with him. I wouldn't really want that long of a deal unless I'm 100% sure this guy's committed. This guy's young. We want to win now, and we want to continue to build this kind of dynasty. But I don't really know if he's a guy that I'd give a 7-year deal to. I'd probably cut that in half.
I
3 or
agree.
4.
I agree. Maximum that I'm gonna give Craig Kimbrell is 4 years. That's the absolute max that I'm giving this guy. He wants more than that, and he is turned down apparently offers because of that. They didn't give him the extra years that he wanted. If I'm a club, I'm signing Craig Kimbrell. I'm giving him 4 years max, and
you maximize that potential with his age. He's 30 years old.
He is 30 years old now, so I'm giving him 4 years. That's as far as I'm going with him. Now, I do still think he is a very good relief pitcher.
Yes.
And honestly, though, I think that some better relievers than him have already signed this offseason. I liked Kelvin Herrera. I think that, he was one of the better relief pitchers. Andrew Miller signed with the Cardinals. That's another big name. I mean, Craig Kimbrell is amazing. He's shown that he's consistent. He's shown that he can be good in pretty much anywhere. He can play. He's played in Atlanta. He did great there. And then he went to Boston, and he played. He had a great postseason. He performed well in Boston. I think he's a great pitcher. And the kind of thing that he's requesting, though, those years and the amount of money that he wants, I got him going to Philly. Because Philly is going to need to spend some stupid money.
Yeah.
Otherwise, Philly fans are not going to be happy. Philly fans were promised that we were going to spend stupid money. So let's spend some stupid money. I'm saying Philadelphia gets Dallas Keuchel. Philadelphia gets Bryce Harper. And Philadelphia gets Craig Kimbrell. And that is your stupid money.
Is Philly winning it all this year?
No.
And do all that and fall short?
They do all of that. They compete. They win the NL East. But they do not win it all. I will say they will win the NL East if that happens, though. So outside of that, there are a couple of available sleepers. If you do miss out on some of these guys, we've got Mike Moustakas at third base. He's still available if you miss out on Manny Machado. Clay Buchholz is still an available starting pitcher if you missed out on the Dallas Keuchel. Cody Allen is going to be the last real relief pitcher available other than Craig Kimbrell. And Marwin Gonzalez, an interesting name to keep in the back of your mind. If you miss out on Bryce Harper, if you miss out on A.J. Pollock, there is still Marwin Gonzalez, a very, very talented young man, very, very talented outfielder. He's going to be interesting. Also, we have a breaking news report coming straight from MLB.com right now. Jed Lowry has just been signed 2 years, $20 million with the New York Mets.
Old man gets a deal.
The old man gets a deal before DJ LeMahieu. Still don't understand that. And as a Mets fan right now, I got to tell you, I am absolutely livid at this situation. They are bringing on a bunch of infielders right now. I don't know what.
Yeah,
If you're the Mets, what are you doing right now? Why are you spending $20 million on Jed Lowry? Now, don't get me wrong. I love Jed Lowry. He's a great player. I think he's a great addition to the team. He's a great veteran presence. He'll be good for all of the young, talented infielders that we have, like Rosario, McNeil, Davis, all of them. But I don't understand bringing him on after you already brought in Cano, and we clearly still need some more bullpen help. Why didn't we use this $20 million and go sign Cody Allen? I don't want Craig Kimbrell, but I wouldn't mind Cody Allen. Wouldn't mind another reliever. I think this is not money well spent. I think that the Mets really messed this one up. Honestly, we're going to leave it at that. I have to stop here. Otherwise, I'm going to rant all day about how I could do a better job managing the Mets than the Mets are doing right now. All right, guys. Well, that's going to wrap up the MLB offseason segment. Check out the links that we have down below. Sign up to our Twitter, Instagram, and Facebook for all major news regarding the MLB or any sports news. We will be keeping you guys up to date, so we will post any big signings there. Check that out. Moving right along, though, to the NBA we go. It is the mid-season over there.
Yeah, buddy.
And we've got some mid-season standings so far. So if the playoffs started today, who would be going from the East?
Right now you have Milwaukee in that one spot, followed by Toronto, then Indiana, Philadelphia, Boston, Brooklyn, Miami, and Charlotte. Those would be your 8 teams out east.
Those would be the 8 teams out of the East. Looking from the West.
You have Denver in the 1, followed by Golden State, OKC, the Los Angeles Clippers, Portland, Houston, San Antonio, and LeBron's Lakers.
LeBron's Lakers. Now that's an interesting topic there. LeBron has been out since Christmas.
Yeah, that's actually, honestly, that's probably one of the last NBA games that I've watched.
Yeah, LeBron was out since Christmas, and the Lakers, they're holding on without him. Do you think that they have enough to maintain that 8th spot without LeBron? When does LeBron need to get back to his team?
He has to get back soon for them to have a favorable matchup to be able to continue to move on, because I really don't particularly think that the Lakers are all that good. Right now, they have their issues. They're relying a lot on guys like Rondo and, some younger players as well. That
they don't have that veteran presence. They don't have that MVP caliber player. They don't have LeBron.
It's LeBron.
That's what it is.
Still, I know people not everybody agrees with this, but he's the best player in the world.
LeBron James, best active player in the world.
Ever.
James.
We'll save that for another day.
LeBron James, best active player in the world right now. And I think the Lakers need him back soon. I think that they need to get everything going, and they need to really play number one, like their best game. They have to bring their A stuff if they want to hold that 8 seed without him, but he needs to get healthy. Without him, they're not going to make it. So we need to get a timetable for his return.
Even come playoff time, though, with the way the seedings are set up, they'd be playing Denver now. And even if they moved up to the 7th, they're playing Golden State in the first round. Those aren't fun matchups, even with LeBron.
Playing Golden State would definitely be worse for you than playing Denver, in my opinion, because playoff Golden State is different than regular season Golden State. That's when they start playing.
That's when basketball really starts come playoff time.
Steph Curry hasn't started playing yet. No. Steph doesn't start until the postseason, okay? Exactly. So that'll be interesting. Plus, Golden State is playing right now without Boogie.
Yeah.
They're about to get him back.
Yeah, he's set to come back. He's making his return. The 18th, I believe, is when he's expected to make his return.
He's coming.
Yeah, that's kind of scary.
As if that team isn't talented enough.
Add another all-star to it.
Another all-star to it. Absolutely crazy.
And the crazy thing is there's kind of a salary cap. It's not a hard salary cap.
It's not a hard salary cap, but there is a salary cap.
It's not like baseball where they can just pay everybody whatever they want.
No, they built it. They built that team, and they did a good job doing it, I gotta say. So, guys, as we are into the half season right now, who are some standout players you got? Who are your standout players? Obviously, you always have guys like Harden. You always have guys like Steph. You always have KD. They're always bringing it. They're the best. They are what they do. What are some other guys, though, that are really keeping it up and like doing the business?
Giannis has obviously been great. It's another guy we did leave out of that group. He, could very well be your MVP this year.
He could.
And going from the rookie side of things, you got Luka Doncic. I'm pronouncing his name wrong, but I'm talking about.
He's been playing very well.
Yeah, he's been killing it, averaging a little bit under 20 points a game.
Been playing very,
And
very
DeAndre
well.
Ayton's also playing well. I believe he's averaging a double-double.
He is averaging a
So you got
double-double.
some good young guys that are coming through. That are coming through for their clubs
A
and,
lot
and
of good
stepping
young
up.
guys. A lot of good young guys.
What guys have you been keeping your eye on that
know-
stood out to you?
So, not necessarily the youngest of guys, but Clint Capella
Okay.
has been looking really, really sharp this season. I've seen dramatic changes in him from the last time that we saw him last year to now. Clint Capella has been playing a whole different kind of ball, and I really like what I'm seeing from him. I think that he's going to be a big piece to that team.
Yeah, no, I can. It's funny you mentioned him because I bought 2K18 last year for my dad,
Okay.
and like when we first got it, we would play all the time, and he would normally play with one of the all-time teams, like the Knicks in particular.
Always.
And so I, in return, I'm not very good at 2K. I'd play with like the Warriors or the Rockets, which I
best
prefer playing
teams.
with the Rockets because I like Harden plays the kind of style that I like. He
Fear
can
the
shoot,
dude.
but still big, strong guy. But I mentioned I bring up this story because Clint Capella was always the reason I would beat my dad.
Yes.
He was a monster in the paint.
He
He would
is.
shut down everybody and
He
block.
would.
He'd have like 20 blocks every time we played each other. It was just a whole lot of fun. Just a quick little anecdote on Clint Capella
Well,
and
yes,
my
most
relationship to
definitely.
him.
And he is really having a great year.
Yeah,
He is.
putting it together.
Gotta love that. Another guy who's really keeping his game up is Joel Embiid.
Yes.
He is staying.
Backing up
He-
all the trash talk.
He's
right?
backing up all that trash talk. He's having a spectacular year. And John Wall is actually out now, too.
I know.
John Wall just had that season-ending
Huge
surgery,
for
so
the
that is
Wizards.
huge for the Wizards. They are
Huge.
not going to be making any sort of run anywhere now.
No, yeah. Honestly, I would if he was still playing. I would have them seeking into that playoff seed and taking it from a team like Charlotte, for example. who
Hey,
I don't really feel
hey,
like it's particularly.
Don't
good.
take away from the local team. You can't take away from the local team. We're here. We're local. If Charlotte makes the playoffs, that's just good for us.
Another playoff game, right?
Another
Back to
playoff
the last
game.
time
Hey,
went
we
to
had a
one.
lot of fun at that last one.
We did. That was a good time. That was when they were still the Bobcats, though, wasn't it?
It was when they were still the Bobcats.
one
We,
of their
we have
last
not been
years
to
or so.
a
It's
Hornets
been a
play
while.
game. We went to a Bobcats playoff game. Speaking of the playoffs, let me hear those mid-season projections. Who are we going to be seeing in these playoff games this year?
I think who you have out west is who you're going to see. Those teams are good. Obviously, you got teams like Sacramento and Minnesota in the hunt. I just
Definitely.
don't think they have enough to be able to sneak in there. Like the West is loaded.
The West is loaded.
It's like even the teams that are sitting out, like the other two I previously mentioned, they'd be doing pretty well if they were
have.
playing in the East.
They have.
But I think your West is set. Denver's playing out of this world right now. Golden State's.
Denver might be the best team in the NBA right
Yeah.
now, the way that they're playing.
Golden-
They are a hot team. They'll be hard to beat.
Yep. Golden State is Golden State. The Clippers, Portland, all Houston, San Antonio, and when LeBron comes back, the Lakers are going to make the playoffs.
Oh, yeah. Most
Unless,
definitely. As
you
long
know-
as LeBron gets back on that court,
Exactly.
the Lake Show is not going anywhere. They're going to make the playoffs.
They're getting out east. It's a little bit more interesting. I do think it's mostly set. The only team I really see dropping out would be Charlotte. They're kind of inconsistent. You question where a lot of their secondary scoring is going to come besides Kemba Walker.
Right.
You can't rely on like a 40-some-year-old Tony Parker. A dude's
No.
walking down the court
No,
with a
you
can.
can't rely on that.
But he's played great.
He
probably
has.
a whole.
He has.
whole-
They've gotten
done
a
whole
lot
more
of
than they
production
expected
out of
from
him.
But like they're 4-6 over their last 10 games.
Starting
Like,
to
that's-
decline a little
but
bit. The
that's
season's
kinda-
starting to wear on them.
Yeah, that's just kind of where they've been. Like they're lucky
Yes,
they're
they're
playing in
streaky.
the East because they're lucky they're playing in the East because it gives them a chance to get in. I just don't see them sticking it out, even though they're the local team for us.
All right, so if you have our local team getting axed, who do you have coming in?
I gotta go with the Magic.
The Magic?
Yeah, I'm gonna
Interesting.
pull a random team that people probably don't expect. At the Magic.
Interesting.
I think the Magic. I think they're gonna be able to sneak in there.
Think the Magic sneaking in? All right, there. Well, you heard it first here. The Magic are sneaking into the playoffs. Now, if you ask me, I would agree with you. I do think that the West is pretty much set. I don't think that we're going to get much change there. Maybe some position jumping here or there, but I think that those 8 teams are going to be the 8 teams that we're
Yeah.
going to see. Looking at the East, it is definitely more interesting. I'm going to say it, though. I think the East is going to stay as is.
Really?
I think these are going to be the teams. I will agree with you. If a team was going to fall, it would be our local
Charlotte.
team. But you know what? They're local, and I got to root for them. So I
Hop on
want
the
to see them not hop on the bandwagon, but I mean, look,
They're getting knocked out.
I'm a New Yorker. We all know the Knicks are my team. We all know the Knicks aren't going anywhere. R.I.P. Knicks. But you know what? At least I can root for the Bobcats. I don't have a problem
on the Brooklyn
with that.
bandwagon.
You know, I thought about that, but like I don't really like Brooklyn that much. I'm just gonna be honest. Like, forget Brooklyn. Brooklyn's not where I'm from. I don't want to be there.
Fair enough. But another sport that's actually hitting the midseason is the NHL, hockey.
The NHL, it is. We are here, and it is mid-season in two of these big sports, and they are a lot of fun. Now, if the season ends today, teams that are going to go to the playoffs, out of the East, we've got Washington, Pittsburgh, Columbus, Tampa Bay. Tampa Bay looks stronger than ever.
Oh, yeah.
Tampa Bay, my personal choice to win the Stanley Cup, just getting that out there.
Same here, they're loaded.
Toronto, Boston, Montreal, and Buffalo. Those are going to be the teams right now that have playoff spots in the East. Coming out the West, we're going to be seeing Nashville, Winnipeg, Dallas, Calgary, Vegas, San Jose, Colorado, and the Anaheim Ducks. What are you thinking about that?
There is a lot up for grabs in hockey.
There is.
Especially out west. I'm a Ducks fan, a pretty big Ducks fan. As my introduction to hockey was through the Mighty Ducks movies as a little kid. But they're 1-6-3 over their last 10 games. They're not playing particularly well.
They're not.
Actually, they're playing garbage.
They've been playing pretty garbagey, if you ask
truthful.
me.
They're one of the worst teams in shots against. Like John Gibson, the goaltender. I wanted to highlight him because he's been playing out of his mind. He's the goaltending. Him and Ryan Miller are the sole reason why they're even in the A seed. They're second to last in goals per game in the entire league. They're only ahead of the Kings, the LA Kings. It's a pretty rough year, and there's some other teams that are stepping up and playing well that are sitting outside the playoffs.
There are.
Like Vancouver's only 5-5, but if the Ducks keep trending downwards like they are,
sneak in.
Anybody could jump in.
Anybody can sneak on in.
And even Colorado, they're 2-6-2 over their last 10.
Colorado's falling.
Yeah. I still feel like they'll be able to get it together because I think they have the talent.
No, most definitely.
Guys like Landeskog as well, Nathan McKinnon.
Gabriel Landeskog, Nathan McKinnon, both very good, high-scoring players.
Good young players. They should be able to come through.
They'll sneak by. I'm not too worried about Colorado. Honestly, the way I'm seeing it, at the end of the season, I'm thinking the West is actually going to stay the way it is. Might be a little bit different in some seeding. I could definitely see Colorado hopping over Dallas.
Definitely,
in the standings here, but I do kind of see those teams staying. Now, from the East, the Islanders are hot. The Islanders have been very, very good of late.
8-2-0.
I could definitely see the Islanders sneaking in and taking one of those spots from either Buffalo or Montreal.
Yeah, it's pretty crazy because basically everybody in the playoffs right now, and even not including the Islanders, has been playing well.
They have. Everybody has been.
Like Buffalo's the only team that hasn't won half their games over the past 10. They're 4-5-1. Everybody else, you look at Tampa, 8-1-1. Best team in the league.
Tampa might not be the best reference here because they're the best team in the league. They're the Stanley Cup final favorites right here.
Even if we want to ignore them, though, you got Sid the Kid in Pittsburgh, 9-1-0. One loss.
Sid the Kid in Pittsburgh. And it's an overtime loss nonetheless.
It's a regular time. Boston's 8-2. Columbus 7-3. Like, so many different teams are playing really well and going out there and getting points in practically every single game. It was just super competitive. Like, I think it's more than likely that your Stanley Cup winner comes out of the East. I can see a team like Vegas out West maybe pulling magic like they did last year.
That was a great run.
The real threat out West to me is actually Nashville. Year in and year out,
Predators are ready. They're coming for you.
Oh yeah, year in and year out, they always have great goaltending. They always have great defense. They generally lack the scoring touch.
And this year they have that.
Yeah, it's better than previous years. If they can put it together, I think they can make a pretty good run and challenge one of those teams for the West. And it's a seven game series.
That's fair. It is a 7-game series. Ultimately, I think Tampa Bay is going to take that one.
More than likely.
I have faith in Tampa Bay winning it all.
I put my money on them.
Now, speaking of point leaders, though, Tampa Bay point leaders. We got to have the discussion. Is Nikita Kucherov, whatever. I'm not Russian. Do I sound Russian to you?
No, me neither.
Nikita Kucherov. Do you think Nikita Kucherov is better than Alexander Ovechkin for the club.
It's really different because I love Ovechkin. Yeah, I was born in DC, although I'm a Ducks fan. The Caps would probably be my second team, and for me, like, it was kind of exciting to have a guy of Ovechkin's caliber in the same area that I lived. But Ovechkin is kind of a one-trick pony in a way.
He is a one-trick pony.
He does do other stuff, but bar none, he is the best goal scorer of our era.
Best goal scorer.
No, absolutely no
hands
question
down.
about that.
Not going to get an argument from me. He is hands down the best goal scorer.
Like he's up there all the time. But he does.
What's more important to a team? What's more important to winning a championship? The best goal scorer in the NHL, or the best point getter in Kucherov?
See what the point getter, the points leader, that's it's slightly misleading because Kucherov has like 50 assists on the year.
It is.
It's not like he's not scoring. 21 goals is pretty good for halfway through the year.
It's a lot of goals.
But it's obvious that he's playing with some great teammates at Tampa, and as we see by Tampa Bay
Steve Stamkos
being atop the standings. Like, he's playing with some great guys and able to put it in. But he does do a little bit more than Ovechkin does. Like, Ovechkin has shored up some of his issues that he had over his career. Like, he's become better defensively. He's not always going for the big hits like he used to. Like, he's become a little bit more sound, but he's not. He still lacks stuff in his all-around game. Like, it's nice to see him win a cup last year. Loved it. Nobody deserved it more than him in hockey. But there are some questions about him.
Definitely some red flags there. All right, so Philly is not relevant at all. I understand that. But what's going on over there? They are on an 8-game losing streak. Over their last 10, they're 1-7-2. They got shut out by a rookie in his first start.
Yep.
His first NHL start. They got shut out.
Goaltending, man. They just tied the record recently, playing their 7th goalie this year. We are halfway through.
7 goalies in a season.
7 goalies. Like, you think, 41 games is halfway through? You play 7 goalies, so each goalie...
On pace for 14?
Yeah.
Each goalie's playing about 3, 4?
Like, that's terrible.
Absolutely ridiculous is what that is.
You're just wondering how far down your system you have to reach to find it, because most teams only carry, 2 goalies on the active roster.
The usual is 2. I mean, 3 is not unheard of, but
very,
2
very
is
rarely.
2 is the usual. That's the norm.
I mean, at this point, just grab a guy from the Sandstorm out there like they do for emergency goalies. Can't go any worse.
You know what? It really can't. 1-7-2 over the last 10, including an 8-game losing streak. That is just absolutely atrocious. And with that, we're gonna slide over to our discussion about the NFL. I know you've been looking forward to this.
Oh,
I've been looking forward to this. This is it right here, guys. We are in the prime time of NFL season because it's playoffs. So Wild Card Weekend just wrapped up, and we had a lot of fun this time around. It was a very wild Wild Card Weekend. To start, the Colts upsetting the Texans by a final score of 21-7. Why did that happen, Emmanuel?
Oh, Colts defense.
Colts defense.
There's a bunch of no-names that they have on defense stepped up and played. Held Houston to 7 points.
The no-names killed it. Healthy Andrew Luck.
Yes.
Healthy Andrew Luck, bar none in the playoffs. I'm telling you right now, Andrew Luck is next level when he's healthy.
Oh, yeah.
Then you got Mack. Mack was great in this game. Put up 140-something rushing yards. Marlon Mack keeps killing it, and I think that was the key for the Colts' big win there. Moving over to Dallas and the Seahawks. It was a heartbreaker for the Seahawks. If that 2-point conversion counts, we're going to overtime. 24-22 is the final. Dallas wins. What'd you see there?
Going into this game, I had Seattle. I didn't really think it was going to be much of a game, but again, for me, the difference was the defense. Dallas' defense kept Russell Wilson in check for the majority of the game.
They did.
They made big plays when they needed to.
Made some huge plays.
They did enough, and obviously Zeke makes a difference. It helps having a guy like Ezekiel Elliott back there to carry the load when... I'm not really too scared of the rest of their offense, but...
Dak had a good game.
He did.
Dak stepped up. Dak actually did something that no other Cowboy quarterback has ever done. Dak Prescott, the first Cowboy quarterback to throw for a touchdown and run for a touchdown in a postseason game.
Yeah. No, he made some clutch plays with his legs as well. He had that big first down.
He did. He was very, very key. And like you said, it was the Zeke show.
Yes.
It's been the Zeke show all
yeah.
season long. Zeke is the reason they're there. Zeke is the reason they won that game. How much longer can Zeke go before he's done? I mean, like, how much wear and tear can you put on this guy?
It's a lot of carries, a lot of touches. That you put on him over the course of the year, and
scary amount of touches.
Like, they brought in Amari Cooper to maybe help a little bit, just at least make the passing game more of a threat. And he started off well, but he tapered off a bit. I think he was pretty decent this past week or last weekend, but you do have to question that. You do question how much wear and tear. Like you saw Le'Veon Bell. Le'Veon Bell's sitting out because I don't want that type of wear and tear on my body. I don't think Zeke's the same type of personality.
Not at all.
I think Zeke wants the ball.
I think Zeke wants the ball every play. Zeke wants the wear and tear.
Yeah.
Zeke is sitting here like, if I'm not torn up, I didn't do my job.
Yeah.
You got to give me the ball every play.
You love the tenacity, but you do wonder how much of an effect that has.
How much more can Zeke handle? We'll have to look at that this weekend. So, the Eagles, they flew right past the Bears. Or the refs might have helped a little bit there.
A little bit.
A little bit of a late call on that timeout to end the game. I mean, the first kick was good.
You definitely kicked it before the whistle blew.
The kick was before the whistle. I don't know necessarily that the timeout was. Earlier, so that was probably close. They gave it to him, and it really messed with Cody Parkey. He choked. But, I mean, honestly, that was a great game.
It was. It was a whole lot of fun. It was tight, low scoring, back and forth. Defensive game. That's
very defensive
game that I love.
It was a great defensive game, and I kind of assumed it was going to be. Going into that game, I thought the Bears were going to win it, and I did think it was going to be a low-scoring game.
Mm-hmm.
I thought the Bears' defense was going to really step up and win that game.
No, this
game not the case. Although they were in a very good spot to win it. If that timeout doesn't, they should have won that game.
Regardless of timeout or not, you got to make that kick.
You got to make that kick.
It's not a long one. He just choked.
The Phillies made the right call.
Yeah. No, it's definitely
letting Parkey go.
Ice him.
Ice him. You know, he was on that team.
But this game was the game why I didn't have as bad of a weekend. I went 2 for 2 on my picks over the weekend. This one kind of saved it. I almost had a rough one. Yeah.
You almost had a rough one. Speaking of Emmanuel's rough weekend, so my guy Manny is a huge Baltimore Ravens fan. Like he said, from Maryland, huge Ravens fan. Personally, myself, I am a huge fan of the Bolts. I absolutely love the Chargers. I was about to say San Diego, but they're not there anymore. Colcom will always be home.
Still not used to calling him San Diego.
I'm not either. Not calling him San Diego. It's kind of weird. But the Bolts beat up on the Birds, and that Chargers defense, that was a force to be reckoned with.
Yeah, well, the scores definitely doesn't represent the complete dominance by the Chargers. The Chargers defense in particular. Phillip Rivers didn't do a whole lot. He wasn't bad. Didn't lose a game, but he didn't win it either. It was straight up that entire defense.
Rivers didn't win. Melvin Gordon didn't win. The offense did not win that ball game. The Charger defense, 7 sacks, 2 fumble recoveries, a pick.
Yep.
Kept pressure on Lamar Jackson all day. Did not let him get away.
And his fumble problems persisted.
The fumble problems did persist. I mean, it was absolutely crazy. Honestly, I think another big key to that game was rookie kicker. 5 field goals.
Yeah, Bagley, yeah.
Bagley, huge day.
They had that one blocked, and that was kind of a turning point for the Ravens blocking that one. They played a little bit better after that to make it a game, to make it where they still had a chance to win. But it was all Chargers.
It was all Chargers all day.
And as a Ravens fan, because I do want to bring this up, I have a bone to pick with everybody at the stadium.
All you fair weather fans.
All the other fans elsewhere.
I was going to bring that up too.
That decided to boo Lamar Jackson.
You don't boo a guy.
No, you don't boo him. You don't put him in for Flacco. Are you kidding me? Or you don't take Flacco. You don't put Flacco in for him. Flacco is, and again, I appreciate Flacco. I love the Super Bowl. He was great during those 3 games. But Flacco has
postseason run.
Greatest, one of the greatest ever.
Great postseason run.
Obviously, the play to Jacoby Jones was memorable.
Obviously, Jacoby Jones should have been MVP.
Yeah, well, I disagree there, but moving on. But Flacco is the very definition of mediocrity.
I agree.
We weren't making the playoffs with them. I don't even remember what our record was. All I remember is that when Flacco went down, I just wrote the season off. I had no expectation to make the playoffs at all. Lamar Jackson went 6-2 over his 8 games as a starter, including the loss to San Diego. If you're telling me over 8 games we're going to go 6-2 that you wouldn't take that, then you're lying. Anybody would take that. 6-2 is great. You're winning 75% of your games. So people checking out after a half of football because he's struggling in his first playoff game. Get out of here. You're not a real fan. Bye.
And you know what? That's not good for his mentality either. You know what? Once the fans started booing Jackson and started calling for Flacco, that was the moment that I knew that game was going to be over, because you know what? Jackson just heard all of his hometown fans booing him and asking for somebody else. That is hard. That is a lot of pressure. Now, you know what? I thought that he was going to fold under that. And I got to give Lamar Jackson a lot of props for this.
He stepped up.
He stepped up after that and proved all of you fan weather fans wrong.
Yep.
So, you know what? Anybody who booed Lamar Jackson at that game, go burn all your Raven stuff. You're not a fan. You don't deserve to be a fan.
I even heard some dumb stuff on the radio. People asking about putting in RG3. Not dressing Flacco, dressing RG3 and putting him in because he's a better fit for the system because he can run.
I have nothing else to say on this because you have all left me speechless. You don't see me giving up. You don't see me sitting here booing the Knicks. I am still a Knicks fan. I own that. They're terrible. I own that. I don't want King Heinrich ever to get pulled. I am a huge Ranger fan. King Heinrich is my guy. You will never hear me boo him after he gives up 4 goals.
Nope.
So moving on, though, the divisional series is about to get started, and we have got a lot of exciting football to be had. So, Colts Chiefs. What are we thinking about this game?
I'm going with the upset here.
You're going with the upset. You're taking the Colts.
I'm taking the Colts. I think like you said, Andrew Luck, when healthy, is a different animal. I think he's going to come through. Yeah, I think he's going to put enough points on the board to win. And I do think that defense, again, full of no-names.
The no-name defense.
I think I can name 2 players off the top of my head. I'm sure there are other guys I'm just forgetting about right now. But
positive of it.
I think that defense is going to be able to keep Kansas City in check. I mean, Kareem Hunt's no longer playing. He's been out for a while now, but that affected that Kansas City team. It's big time. And you think you got underrated guys like T.Y. Hilton on that offense. I think they can go out there and make plays. I think Indianapolis comes out and wins. Tight game, so I'm probably going about 20-17 is what I'm sticking with.
20-17? Okay. I also have the Colts winning that game. I have the Colts winning 27-23 over the Chiefs. And again, a healthy Andrew Luck in the playoffs. It's where he shines. It's what he's meant to do. And I don't think that the Chiefs are going to be able to stop that. So, we both got the Colts. Chiefs, get out of here. Again, I am a little biased as a Chargers fan, so I naturally just don't like the Chiefs. But no, I think the Colts are going to win this one. Moving along to the other game in the AFC, we've got the Chargers and the Patriots in New England, and I think that is going to be a huge factor. If the Chargers don't win this ball game, it is solely because Phillip Rivers doesn't like the cold.
That's very true. It's tough when you're used to playing out on the West Coast the entire time to make your way east, especially in an area like New England. They're very lucky it's not supposed to snow this weekend. I think the storm's supposed to miss them, go a little bit south of New England. So they're lucky about that, but you still have to face 30 degrees or below.
30-degree weather. Phillip. Bill Belichick. Tom Brady. Playoffs. What are you thinking here?
In Foxborough.
What are you thinking?
100% truthful. I think this one is probably a little bit ugly. Not terribly ugly, but I do think we hit the double-digit spread right here.
Double-digit spread.
I think the Patriots defense does come through and step up. You come through, you put a little bit of pressure on Phillip, as you saw the first time the Ravens and Chargers played. He's different
under pressure. He doesn't like pressure. He doesn't like the cold.
Combine those two with the cold, I don't really see many points for the Chargers today or on Sunday.
All right. So I'm gonna take the other side of this. You know what?
We know
I got to root for my team, but it's not just rooting for my team. No, it is not just rooting for my team.
Fanboy, being a fanboy.
They have the team to do it. They've got that defense. Now that defense is electric. Okay, yeah. Tom Brady. Once you start knocking him down a little bit, he plays worse than Phillip Rivers under pressure. Tom Brady doesn't like being touched, and Joey Bosa is going to touch him a lot.
Are you going to get to knock him down in Foxborough though?
Joey
You know he's Tom
Bosa
Brady.
is going to knock him down. I'm calling it right now. Joey Bosa, 2-sack game. 2-sack game, no flags. That's the important part.
Oh, there's no way he gets no flags.
No
in
flags.
Foxborough. You breathe on Tom Brady as the penalty. Come on, we all know it's roughing the passer.
Nope, no flags.
God forbid he falls on him, he'll get ejected.
No flags. It's going to be clean sacks. On top of that, the Chargers coaching staff, they looked really good to me. So, as we all know, they played the Ravens in the regular season, and Lamar Jackson killed them.
Yes.
Lamar Jackson tore them apart. And what the Chargers did, they found a way. They knew that they were going in. They knew that they were playing him again. And they set up the perfect scheme, in my opinion, to win that game. I think that the defense played a hell of a game, but the coaches sent the DBs after Lamar Jackson. They sent the speed back there.
Yeah, to keep him
in check. Keep him back there and keep him in check. And it really shut his game down for that entire first half. He wasn't able to find anything. And I think that it's going to be that strategic thinking. I think they're going to despise a plan to stop Brady. Not only stop Brady, but touch him a little bit.
But I think that's the key element right there, though.
The key element is going to be, can you put Brady on the ground?
For me, is that you're switching out. You're putting in Brady instead of Lamar Jackson. You're putting in
Brady's a lot better. You're not going to get any
a Hall of
Famer
versus a rookie. And obviously, it's a different scheme. And Brady's the type where he can match that scheme, whatever the Chargers come up with. He can match that in game. And of course, you have one of the greatest coaches ever in Bill Belichick on that sidelines as well.
Tom Brady,
that, I
Bill
think,
Belichick,
right there,
greatest competitive combo I've ever seen.
No,
they are true competitors. They know how to win. They are winners. They are the definition of winning. They are winners. And I'm going to say this. Chargers over New England, 24-14 final. 24-14 final. Chargers are winning this one.
I got 24-10 New England.
This is the Chargers' year. Chargers are going all the way. 24-14.
So I got
24-14 Chargers.
Got Gronk with a couple TD catches.
Gronk with a couple TD catches? Yeah. That polar bear is done. No snow on the ground means the polar bear's got nothing. Moving up right along to the NFC now. We've got some, you know what? I was going to say some interesting games, but I think we've got some less than interesting games here. I think
we could have some laughers in the NFC.
I think that the interesting games are going to be, I think the most interesting game is going to be the Colts and the Chiefs. I think that will be the best game to watch. I think it's going to be the tightest game, and I think it's going to be a defensive game. I think the Chargers-Patriots is going to be a fun game because everybody's writing the Chargers off, and when they win, I'm going to enjoy it. The Eagles are going to Who Dat Nation and playing those New Orleans Saints. How do you see this playing out?
Based off the first game, Philly should not be playing. Like they really should not be in this round. They lucked out. I don't think they'll luck out again. I think now the Saints aren't a perfect team. You saw later in the year they struggled. That secondary is a little bit rough. Like they should have lost to Pittsburgh when they played them. If Pittsburgh hadn't stopped passing, Pittsburgh would have won. But for whatever reason, they decided they wanted to be a balanced offense. But they were eating them apart. I think if Philly can develop a passing game, they can step up and beat and pull the surprise and beat the Saints. But I think the Saints take care of business here. I got 31-13.
31-13. All right, interesting call. So, Nick Foles, reigning Super Bowl MVP.
Yep.
Going up against a less than great New Orleans secondary.
Yeah.
If Nicky Foles can find that hot hand, if he can get into stride, his wide receivers could definitely make this a much better game.
Oh yeah. Make it a little
and he's special. He's a good player. He's great in the playoffs. Yeah. I don't think anybody can deny it at this point. Nick Foles is absolutely killing it. He gets wins, even when he's not supposed to. Even when he should lose the game, they luck out and they get a win. So it would not surprise me at all to see this be a good game. But I do agree with you 100%. Breeze is probably going to be the MVP this year. Let's face it.
Yeah,
he's having an insane, astronomical season. Philly's pass defense is not very good either. I mean, no. Philly's pass. I think New Orleans is the worst, and I think Philly's is second to worst. So this is going to be a very good receiver game, and I think Michael Thomas is going to be making all the difference here for the Saints. He's arguably in the top 5 receivers currently.
Yeah,
top 5 active receiver.
And if he's not in your top 5, he's probably right outside it.
He's probably right on the bubble, right 6-7. He should be up there though. And Drew Brees there in the Who Dat Nation, which is one of the much harder places to play if you're an opposing
Definitely,
team.
yeah, that crowd
They
is
get
tough.
loud, they get rowdy, and when the Saints are winning, they get louder and rowdier. So I'm
Backfield
thinking
tandem of Kamara and Ingram.
Kamara and Ingram. I mean, Kamara's a beast, and Ingram is great. I mean, like Ingram is just as good.
Yep.
It's hard. You never know. I mean, if one of them is having a slow day, you just put the
Now
other
the
one
guy's
in.
good, yeah.
We're good to go. It doesn't even matter. I'm going to say New Orleans is going to win this game. I got the final score being 35-21. I do think Philly's offense is going to put up a little bit more than you're thinking. I think Nick Foles is still going to be able to throw. Zach Ertz is a huge tight end target, and he's a really good target. So, you know what? I'm going to give him that. Alshon Jeffrey has also shown that he can be good in the playoffs. He's made a lot of good catches in the postseason.
Yeah, he's a big guy.
He's a huge guy. You get to the red zone, you just throw it up there. He'll bring it down. I think that they're going to score, but I don't think they're going to score enough. And that'll leave the final game. Cowboys-Rams. What are you seeing here? What are you liking? What are you thinking?
In spite of how they played last week, I don't have any faith in the Cowboys still. It was a tight game against the Seattle team that, honestly, I was surprised Seattle did as well as they did, to be truthful. I didn't think they had that much. Chris Carson had a good year for them. But the Rams are a whole lot better. The Rams are a super team. They're able to put that together. You got a quarterback on a rookie deal. You can put a lot of pieces around them. It's the perfect formula to win. I think this is going to be the ugliest game.
I'm going to have to agree with you there. This is going to be... If you're a Rams fan, you're going to love watching this game because it is going to be nonstop scoring for the LA Rams. And if you're a Dallas fan...
Just don't watch it.
Just don't watch the game. I mean, like my honest advice to you,
have Sunday
don't
brunch
worry.
with your family.
Yeah, like...
Just chill.
You're not going to want to be disappointed by this one. Now, Zeke was amazing for you guys this whole season. Zeke was great last week. Dak really stepped up last week. And I don't think that they're going to have a chance of repeating that against the Rams. The Rams have a better defense than any of the teams, I believe, left in the playoffs. I think the Rams' defense is probably the best out of the remaining teams. You pair that with... Like you said, they've got a good quarterback. He's not an elite quarterback, but he's a good quarterback on a rookie deal. So you've got a lot of really good receivers out there.
Oh, yeah.
And more than that, you got Todd Gurley.
Yeah,
you got the best running back in football.
Yeah, it definitely can match Zeke on the other side. No question about that.
Great defense. Best running back in football. He is better than Zeke. I'm sorry to all you Cowgirl fans. He just is. If you can't respect that, don't listen. Cut me off right here because all I'm going to do is talk about how amazing Todd Gurley is. It's going to be a mini Gurley rant. The question is Gurley's health, though. Do you think he's going to be fully healthy for this game?
Oh, he'll be good to go. It's playoff time.
It's playoff time.
You're not sitting out for this. You can put it together for a few hours and be out there when you really want it that bad.
Final prediction here. Rams win, obviously. I'm saying 42-17 final.
42 is a lot of points.
42 is a lot of points, and Todd Gurley's going to score them.
I don't think the Cowboys are going to score a ton. Cowboys are definitely staying in single digits. I'm going 35-9.
42-17. Todd Gurley, 3 TDs. Zeke, the other 2. 5 total TDs for the running backs.
Jeez.
That's the call.
Sounds like a rough day for the rush defense.
That's the call. I'm sticking to it. So here on 3 and Out, it's quite clear that we love making predictions and that we love just talking about sports. And if you're like us, a sports fan, another big aspect of it that you're going to love is sports trivia. I absolutely love sports trivia. I know my friend Emmanuel loves sports trivia. I know Manny's dad is the huge sports trivia nut in the world, and he stumps us every time.
Give me tons of questions.
He stumps us every time, but something that we're going to do is going to be a trivia question each week. We're going to ask you guys and make this kind of interactive. So we're going to ask a question now, and then we're going to give you guys the answer at the beginning of next week's podcast. So, this week's question. Who holds the record for most rushing yards in a single NFL divisional round game? That's going to be your question of the week. That's what we hope you guys find out.
Leave your answer in the comments or hit us up on social media as well to give an answer.
Find us in all the links down below. So speaking of trivia, coaches usually know answers. If you're an NFL coach, though, it might not be a good time for you We have had a mass firing and hiring of NFL coaches over these past couple weeks. And Emmanuel, how are you feeling about that? What is going on here in the NFL with all of these coaches?
There are some interesting ones. There are probably some pretty decent ones. And there are also some questionable ones.
Questionable at best.
You know, I'd like to highlight a couple of those real quick. Like the Jets hiring Adam Gase from the Dolphins, who just got fired from the Dolphins.
What are you doing? What are you doing?
I'm a little bit confused about that. Did you play this guy twice a year? Did you, in division opponent, did you really see anything from it? Because I'm kind of confused what the Jets saw to bring him in. I mean, he was better than what they had. He's better than Todd Bowles. That guy was
most
not good at all.
But he's not the best available.
It's an improvement.
They could have got somebody better.
But you had other options.
There are always other options. You could have got somebody better.
Other hirings include the Browns hiring their offensive coordinator, Freddie Kitchens. Still be taking over. I thought that was pretty interesting, too, because I believe their D coordinator, Greg Williams, was the interim coach after they fired Hugh Jackson,
right.
I believe. And, they stepped up after that. But I agree with you. I do think Kitchens was the right call.
I think Kitchens is the right call for them.
Because if you look at the numbers, the offense and Baker Mayfield in particular, the number one overall pick.
That's the future. That's what you got to go with.
Yeah. I mean, he took off once Kitchens started taking over play calling duties.
That's your bread and butter.
I think that was definitely a good hire.
Kitchens calls your plays. Let him do it. Cleveland could actually be a team to mess with next year.
Yep. Other hires in there. You got the Packers hiring Matt LaFleur, however you pronounce that, the offensive coordinator for the Titans. I also think that honestly, I really don't think they should have fired McCarthy. I get that
That's where I'm at. I think McCarthy still should have been there.
Yeah, but I get that him and Rodgers didn't necessarily see eye to eye and they clashed a bit. And I am of the belief that in those situations, unless the player is completely unruly and ridiculous, you'd stick with the superstar player. And Aaron Rodgers is the best quarterback in the game right now.
Of course.
It's kind of like,
Well, maybe not that part, but of course.
He's the best QB in the game.
You stick with the superstar. Aaron Rodgers not best QB in the game.
And other coach hirings, Bruce Arians found a new job.
Bruce Arians did find a new job.
He's stepping up with the Bucs. I'm curious what they do moving forward, with Jameis Winston and all that.
Famous Jameis now has Bruce.
And
could be interesting.
Another fun name, a blast from the past. The Dolphins just let go of Adam Gase. It is rumored that Mr. Foot Fetish himself, Rex Ryan, is among the favorites to get that Dolphins job. Now, how do you feel about that?
Miami fires one coach. He goes to the Jets. The Jets fired Mr. Foot Fetish a while back. He's going to end up in Miami. I think it'll be interesting. I've always liked Rex Ryan. Oh, you know what? He's fun.
Love to play for him.
He's not. No offense, Mr. Rex. I don't think he's the best coach out there. I think that the Dolphins could definitely find somebody better, but I do think he is the most entertaining coach out there.
Oh, definitely.
And it is always fun when he does interviews. It is always fun when he is out there, putting the team out there, doing his thing, going through his routine, all of his weird things. I kind of like it. I kind of like that he's coming back. I like that he is going to be an NFL head coach again.
I think it's good for him. If they end up picking Rex Ryan, I do think it's good because he's a good motivator. He's really good at connecting with his players and his team and kind of getting them to play for him. I never really felt like when he was with the Jets, I never felt like they didn't play for him.
No.
You never saw them quit on him. They just didn't have the talent to continue winning.
They did not.
And yes, that's on him too. But we'll see when he gets a second chance with the Dolphins where he goes.
We'll see.
With that, if he gets that second chance.
We'll see.
Now the final one I want to talk about.
This is the big one. It's the one everybody knows about. This is the one that literally makes zero sense. Unless there could be one way that this could really, really work out and pay off. But that's it. That's it. It's a stretch. It's a huge stretch. You need everything to fall your way. But there is one scenario where this is not a bad decision.
The Arizona Cardinals recently fired Texas Tech University coach Cliff Kingsbury as their head coach.
So a college fires a coach. So what do the NFLs go and do? They hire him.
Exactly.
They hire a coach that got fired.
A fired coach.
From a college team. The collegiate level and the NFL are two totally different things. And if you're getting fired from a college, the NFL should not be out there saying, hey, we'll give you a job.
Thank you.
And not only did they give him a job, though, they gave him some years.
Yeah.
It was not just like a, hey, come work with us this year.
No,
like,
they're expecting
no,
him
they
to
gave
give
him
a
some
chance to build
years.
something, yeah.
They are giving him a real opportunity, which is interesting because, there have been some rumors going on. Kyler Murray
Oh, yeah.
going to the NFL draft.
Yep.
Arizona takes a quarterback. Arizona takes Kyler. Now
Trades
you've got
Josh Rosen,
you've got the coach that worked with Mr. Mahomes himself.
Yeah, I think
And
that
you got the
baseball
quarterback
background will
talent.
work. Yeah.
What do you think of that? That would be the one
So-
way that I could see Arizona actually making sense of this.
That's the one way.
But there is so much.
That's a
So much
whole
needs
lot
to
ask
fall.
for. That's a lot to ask for. You got to have somebody that likes Rosen enough to take him, that needs a position. And he had it wasn't all his fault, obviously, but he had a rough year. So you wonder if anybody would take that. And regardless, you're still taking a coach that was 35-40 in college. He was 19-35 in his conference. This guy is hovering around a 500 record as a
losing
college
coach.
head coach.
He's a losing coach.
His team played in the Big 12. That team's, you're going there. That's the offensive firepower conference. Like, they don't play defense there, which is why Kyler Murray won the Heisman. He's playing in that conference. But like, you have a guy that was just fired. This wasn't even a good college coach. This isn't like when Saban tried to make the jump, when Spurrier tried to make the jump to the NFL.
This is
it
nothing
went
like
rough
that.
from them, but those guys actually had some pedigree behind them.
This is a losing college coach
This
being
is just,
hired to the NFL.
The sole reason he's getting this opportunity is because he's a young guy, and people see the Rams with Sean McVay. That's what they're looking for. They're looking for a young guy with a great offensive mind, which he does have. I'll give it to him. He has a good offensive mind. But that's what they're looking for, so they're kind of ignoring those other questions that come with Cliff Kingsbury. And I know a lot of people are actually, the majority of people are really confused, like, what in the world are the Cardinals doing with this?
What are they
'Cause they see the
thinking?
exact same thing that we see. It's a guy that didn't show much. And yeah, it's cool that you're an offensive guru, but his style that he played at Texas Tech
Will not
is
work in the NFL.
It's not seen. That's not how they played in the NFL.
That
It's
will not
it-
work.
he'll probably have an opportunity to have some games where it'll do okay just because it is a different style of play from what the NFL is used to seeing. Like, you see it all the time
Oh, of course.
with the running quarterbacks.
The
with,
shock and awe factor.
Yeah. Like, you saw Lamar. Like,
Shock
Lamar
and
did
awe.
well. RG3 had a great rookie year.
Second time that they get seen, though, they start to
It's
slip up. It's
completely
not
different.
It's not a shock anymore. Now it's just the awe.
And on top of that, the Cardinals obviously lack a ton of talent.
They do.
So
They're lacking talent.
It's not like
Fitzgerald's not going to be there much longer,
Exactly.
and I mean, at this point,
I mean,
he's
even
not the
he's
same
not necessarily
Fitzgerald.
fit, yeah.
He's not. He's getting older now, and you know what?
Assuming he decides to come back,
Yeah,
'Cause, he's
it's about
interested in
time.
a lot of stuff outside of football.
Yes.
But I don't think it was a particularly good decision by the Cardinals. It's an awful one.
No.
Even if they end up getting Kyler Murray.
Even with Kyler, I don't think it was a good decision. I think it was a bad decision. I think it was a horrible decision. But if they get Kyler, I think that it makes sense. I can understand their
justify it a bit more,
rationalization more. Their logic becomes more rational if that is, in fact, what they plan on doing. Now, speaking of Kyler Murray, we're going to get into it. We're going to get into what is going to be our favorite segment of this show, the Daily Debate, where we will take a controversial topic and argue both sides of it. We're going to be trying to find ones that we actually disagree on, and that way we can have a more passionate debate, one that's a lot funner, but it is something that we think is going to be fun. We think we're going to have a good time with it, and we think you guys are going to have a good time listening to it. So the way that it's going to work, we are each going to be given, what do you want to say, 3 minutes?
About, yeah.
We'll each be given 3 minutes, give or take, to pitch our side of an argument. From there, we will have a good 5 to 7 minute debate where we bounce back and forth and try to get to the bottom of things. And then you guys are going to let us know down in the comments and on our social media who won. Who do you guys think won the daily debate, and what do you guys think should happen with this controversial topic? So today, we're talking about Kyler Murray. The topic is going to be this. Kyler Murray, baseball or football? My personal thing, I think he should play baseball. And now we're talking about what he should do, not necessarily what we think he's going to do. But I'm saying he should play baseball. And I think that would just be better for him in the long run. So baseball is obviously much less of a contact sport.
Of course.
It's not going to be something where he's going to have to worry about getting hurt.
Mm-hmm.
It's not going to be something where he's going to have to worry about all the concussions and the aftermath of playing football. Now, I know at the quarterback position, that doesn't typically happen. It's more for the defensive players with the whole concussion thing and all that. The NFL is doing everything they can to stop it with the whole helmet-to-helmet. They're trying to help it out. I totally get that. I totally agree with that. Baseball is the safer bet, though. Hands down, the safer bet. And on top of that, it's more lucrative. You make more money playing baseball than you do in the NFL. I know that the NFL quarterbacks do get paid, so the position definitely does help him. But over the period of time, I think he'll have more years in the major leagues. I think he'll be able to make more money in the major leagues. I think that he'll be safer in the major leagues, and I think that he'll have more success after his sports by playing in the major leagues. I think that he'll have more stuff that he'll be able to do from playing there than from playing in the NFL. More broadcasting spots may open up. You got to think about it. There's just a lot of stuff that you can do with Major League Baseball. Each club has 3 minor league affiliates, so he could easily go on to be a great head coach of one of those teams and then eventually manage. In the NFL, they don't quite do that. So there's just more job opportunity in the sport after he's done playing it. And I think that should definitely impact his decision. He was drafted 9th by the Oakland Athletics.
That's a high pick.
That's a high pick. I mean,
very high like that.
That's a very high pick.
Draft.
Yes, no, and that is a very, very high pick. And with picks like that, you're going to get a higher signing bonus. Yeah. You're going to get more money. And it's clear that, the Oakland A's see something in this kid, and they want him. They want him bad enough that they took him 9th overall. I don't think that he'll get that great of a spot in the NFL draft. I mean, he could, but I don't know. I don't see him going top 10 in the NFL draft. He's going to do it. I just don't think that he'll be top 10 material. It is a good year, though. It is a good year for him, I will say. The quarterback class is looking a little weak. Overall, though, the money, the safety, the opportunity after the sport is done. I also think he has better endorsement opportunities playing baseball. I can just thinking off the top of my head, I can name more baseball players that have been sponsorships and endorsement deals than I can football players. It's just one of those things. And my 3 minutes is up. I'm going to hand it over to Emmanuel on this one and let him pitch his side, which is going to be the football side. He thinks Kyler Murray should play football.
Like Pete said, I am all go for football. And the main reason I am all go for football is actually because of the money. People argue that baseball players in general will make more money. I think and Pete did address it, but the position that Kyler Murray plays is the big difference here. If he played any other position besides quarterback, I would probably say that he should go baseball. But being that he is a quarterback, you look at some of the quarterback salaries. Aaron Rodgers, for example, is getting paid $33.5 million a year. That's a lot of money. And we were talking earlier about Harper or even Machado chasing 10-year, $300 million deals. It's $30 million a year. Now, of course, all Aaron Rodgers' salary is not guaranteed, but he's going to get a good chunk of that. And he's going to make up the money in endorsements because football players have tons of endorsements. Signing with Nike, Under Armour, and all of them, they go out there, they will make their money. And you look at top lists of top earners in football, guys like Matty Ice and other players are up towards the top. And I don't really see very many baseball players on there. In my opinion, there's more opportunity with football. And he doesn't necessarily have to worry about the broadcasting and all that because he won the Heisman. Worst case scenario, if he can't broadcast in pro football, he can go straight to college. There's absolutely no doubt about that. And for me, the other big kicker is, no offense, Pete, but baseball is no longer America's game. Baseball is not America's pastime. Football is America's pastime now.
Baseball will always be America's pastime.
No. Football is America's sport. There's no question about that. Baseball is played in other countries. You see a lot of South America, Central America. They play it. Who else plays football at the level the Americans do? Absolutely nobody. The Australians are trying to sneak in there with their punters and their drop kickings and all that, but I don't think they're taking over anytime soon. So football is America's sport, and for that reason, as a quarterback, as the face of a franchise, you become more of a household name and you present more opportunities for yourself. Because as much as we love Bryce Harper and Trout, Tom Brady and Aaron Rodgers are bigger than them.
Oh, wow.
They are bigger. Tom Brady's bigger, and it's not even remotely
I
close.
will wait for your time, sir.
Tom Brady is way bigger than either of those two. It's not a question. More people know Tom Brady, not just sports fans, than know Trout and Harper. And that is about my 3 minutes. So I'll let you. All right,
so we'll open the floor up now. Where we've tried to be respectful of each other and not comment on anything while the other one was pitching. We're gonna open it up now though and get it going. So, all right, going back to that, Mike Trout is a household name. Everybody knows who Mike Trout is. Yeah. I think that as many people know Brady, know Mike Trout. I'm not saying Mike Trout is more known than Brady, but he's not less known than Brady. Also,
man. I feel like Brady has the female support.
All right, so Brady Brady is the sexiest man alive. Brady has that support.
That wins it.
Okay, but let's be honest now. Brady, the reason that Brady has all this, right? I heard you name Brady. Brady's old.
Yeah,
you know how old Mike Trout is? He's younger than me. Yeah. We're going to have 20 more years of Mike Trout and people learning Mike Trout's name and Mike Trout being the face of Mike Trout. Tom Brady's on his way out. He's got 4 seasons left max. He's getting up there. The reason Brady's more known than Trout right now is because Brady was playing longer than Trout.
No, that's definitely part of it, but I think you also kind of have being a football quarterback is a completely different level. Like
it's a different thing.
I'll never forget. Oh gosh, I don't.
Never forget as he forgets.
I forget his name, but I'll never forget the moment where in the national championship game where Alabama was playing somebody. A.J. McCarron was the quarterback for Alabama, and the announcer is sitting there gushing over A.J. McCarron's girlfriend. And he's like, "This is what happens when you're the quarterback at Alabama. Look at this, man. This is why you want to play football." But I mean, he's not lying. It's so stereotypical, but the quarterback tends to get perks. You look at Brady with Bunchen. Aaron Rodgers has dated plenty of famous models and actresses and all that.
Yeah.
So that just allows you to expand towards the female audience where they, I feel like we go take a poll up and down our street real quick. Oh, who knows Brady versus just all females? Brady versus Mike Trout. People that don't watch sports, more people will know Tom Brady. Tom Brady is a much bigger name than Mike Trout for that reason.
Folks, look for the Cruise Bay Drive poll on our Twitter later. We are going to go up and down the block. Every single female, and we are going to ask them, Mike Trout, Tom Brady, do you know either of these people? We're going to see. We're going to get you guys some results.
We'll bring that up next week.
To see. As far as that goes, though, on top of all that, the longevity of a quarterback. Now, playing quarterback, again, see, the position really does help his case with the NFL. But still, the longevity, I think he'll be able to play more seasons in Major League Baseball than he would in the NFL.
See, I'd actually disagree with that because of the position. Like
you said, position helps.
Brady's sticking around. How old? Brady's in his 40s?
Yeah, Brady, I believe, is 41.
Kyler Murray's 21 right now. That's
20 years?
That's a pretty solid career. And that's a lot to ask out of a baseball player, too, 20 years. That's a lot to ask out of any sport.
Ichiro's pushing 50, and he's still raring to go.
Yeah, but that's Ichiro.
Bartolo Colon is the fattest man alive, the oldest man alive, and a great pitcher.
Yeah, but he's
fun. We love watching Bart.
You can get away with that when
we love watching Bart.
When you take a step and that's all you got to do.
All I'm saying is you've got longevity when you play baseball. And you know what? Who's to say that Kyler Murray couldn't have an amazing career?
He could.
Then turn it around and become a pitcher later. We've seen that a lot. Yeah. In the MLB, you have a lot of options to extend your career and extend your playing time by playing different positions.
That's true.
He's got the arm strength to do it. I'm sure that he would easily be able to find a way, maybe even as a relief pitcher. If something happens to him while he's playing out there, convert to a pitcher. I think that he has more opportunity. I think that it makes more sense for him in the long run to play baseball. I think that I think it'll be a better experience and a better life for him if he plays baseball versus football. Yes, he'll have the stardom for the moment,
but I think
with football, you know what? I think the health risks and the money alone, though, are reasons that he should go with baseball.
So I think you're just ignoring the fact that these football players that do make a ton of money. Quarterbacks are making insane money
They are.
to match baseball players,
They
to
are.
match those top baseball
And
players.
I'm not trying
And
to
then
argue that. What I'm
another-
saying, though, is you got to think about it, though. The quarterbacks do make that kind of money as long as they're performing. With the baseball player, you're going to get that. I mean, Bryce Harper is about to get a 10-year,
Well, it's
$300 million deal.
It's the same deal.
If
You
he
can get a
stops
long deal.
performing, though, it doesn't matter. He's still getting
he's
that
under
money.
you're not going to get 10-year
And
contracts.
you don't see 10-year contracts
But
in
you'll
football.
you'll get a solid 6-7 year deal if you go like that. It's no different. But there's another point where I think he should go football is where he doesn't have to wallow in the minors. What happens if he doesn't work out? Your floor is much higher in football as well.
Floor is much higher in football.
If he doesn't work
if you
out,
don't work out in either sport, you would have been
he's
better
going-
off going to the NFL if you're not going to work out.
because he's
I'll agree.
going to be a first round pick. It's a weak year. It's a weak year for quarterbacks. Your best
It is.
quarterback is Dwayne Haskins.
It's going to
and
be a
after
weak
that,
year.
you have Drew Lock from Missouri. Like there's a pretty big drop off.
It's going to be a weak year.
So he can get into the first round. He has the athleticism, and he showed enough that despite of his size, I think he's listed at 5'11". He's probably not that big, but that despite his size, that he can go out there and play. He will be a first round pick, and somebody will give him a chance. Like you have the higher floor in football. You don't have to wallow in the minors for God knows how long. You're going out there with the first. You have the rookie salary scale now, but you're going out there getting solid money for 3 or 4 years. Then you go out there for your big contract. You don't have to worry about getting stuck in the system and things like that, and just getting lost back there. Yeah, you could always turn back to football if things didn't go well in baseball, like we saw with Brandon Weeden.
It happens.
But, I mean, he sucked in football still, but
It happens. But he came back. He made something out of it.
yeah, he went back to college, did a little bit with it as a 28-year-old rookie.
28-year-old rookies.
Yeah,
that does not
no
bode
wonder why he was
well.
bad.
That doesn't usually work out. Yeah, no wonder why he was bad. So, I mean, I think you guys have heard the facts. I think we've gotten it out there. Let us know. Blast us on social media. Blast us in the comments below. Let us know who won this one. Should Kyler Murray play baseball or football? And why do you think that? Let us know. We will get back with you guys next week for another exciting episode of 3 and Out.